With the elections in India and the European Union just behind us, we thought we would have some time before the next round to the polls would come through. But we had announcement of snap elections, both in the UK and in France. And the reaction to those announcements were pretty different. On the UK side, when Premier Sunak came around and saying that there will be new elections taking place on the 4th of July, the markets were pretty upbeat. They were looking forward for a change in government, and it seems that Labour is taking over, and with that the erratic period of particularly fiscal policy in the UK under the Tory government is going to end. In France, by contrast, the announcement of President Macron came out of the blue. And there's a huge amount of uncertainty related with this election. First of all, it's a question who's going to win. And it seems that the Rassemblement National is likely to go ahead. And it's not just because of its right-wing positions, and this particularly on the side of migration and its position against or regarding the European Union, it's also about their stance on fiscal policy, because they're going for a very lax policy stand in that respect. So uncertainty is there regarding the overall politics and fiscal policy and debt sustainability in particular. Now, with the very huge power of the French president, it is unlikely that the RN can reign through in France. Therefore, we might have some relief coming through in the near term. But it's, on the other hand, very unlikely that the equation of President Macron holds and that he could debunk the charisma of the RN before the next French presidential elections in 2027. So that will weaken for a long time the position of the French president, also in a very difficult situation regarding Europe, which is just finding its new commission. Elections are also coming up in the US. And we thought that monetary policy would keep away from this debate and taking ahead the first rate cut before we go to the polls in the US. But the data did not work that way. So instead of cutting for the first time in July, we now think that the Fed is going to cut rates in September, same time as the ECB is likely to act for the second time in this interest rate cutting cycle. So this all would suggest that the long end is reacting positive. But with the US debate also likely to focus on fiscal policy, not just on the side of migration and climate change, this could create uncertainty as well. And if we see moves that the US government, probably mainly under a presidency of Trump, is going for a lax fiscal policy that could undermine the debt sustainability, markets are likely to react in a non-friendly way. So risk premia are likely to increase, and despite rate cuts from the central banks, the long end could react in a different direction. So we still stick to our view that not just on the short end, but also on the long end, rates will come down. But regarding the sensitivity of the market in respect to fiscal sustainability, there could be a development that the short end goes down and the long end stays there where it is, or even goes higher.